Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our week 3 fantasy football waiver wire pickups. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should pick up from the waiver wire this week and who you need to avoid. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. That is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this season's cruising right along, man. I don't know how it is already, week 3, but... I
have no idea.
Are you 2-0?
No.
Are you 1-1?
Yeah. In our league, at least.
The dreaded 0-2.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Whatever position you are in, there is still plenty of season left, but you need to keep making that roster adjustments to maximize your team's potential.
Yeah.
That's where we come into play. So every week we will give you the players you need to target on the waiver wire, which we will do today for week 3. And then waivers are definitely a little more slim compared to the week 2 waiver wire.
Yeah, this week is pretty rough. Pretty rough one. There's a couple like really obvious choices, I think, which makes it just a nightmare of a week to really manage, especially this early in the season. So
absolutely. What else you got before we get right into it?
Hey guys, click that like button down below, and also drop a comment if you want. Ask a question. You can drop that question down there. Just raise your hand. Say, "Little help now." That's right. Little help now. So drop that comment down below. Ask questions. We try to address them during the week, but hey, we've also got the Sunday pregame, Sunday live stream, right? That's what that is. The double Sunday, right? We've done it now 2 times. The second time, less technical difficulty. It was pretty fun. A little behind the scenes action going on. It was a lot of fun. So, hey, go ahead and hit us up. Hit the subscribe button and the bell. That way you're notified when we roll live. It's Sunday morning before the games. So let's see here. We've got the waiver wire. We're going to be talking about players who are rostered in 60% or less of Yahoo leagues. It's just a metric that we like to use, pretty standard, pretty consistent across the board. A lot of people play on Yahoo, so it is an easy way to make sure that a lot of you are being helped. Let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end here, Justin, and let's start talking about some waiver wire pickups. Who's your top running back waiver wire pickup? I mean, this is not the greatest, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, that's for sure. And speaking of technical difficulties, thanks for bearing with me. Traveling on the road and the old green screen's not working.
It's a roadie. Right now.
It's a roadie. But all right, so to go over my running back waiver wire pickup, it feels dirty to say. It's Cordero Patterson, Atlanta Falcons, 11% rostered. I mean, the guy's been in the league for quite a while now, and it's still just the biggest thing is always, is he getting enough work as both a receiver and a running back to count on him weekly? He's been with the Vikings. He's been with the Patriots. He's been with the Bears.
Yeah.
He's always flashed game to game, week here, week there. He just hasn't been consistent enough. But if he's going to do it, this would be the team to do it, because there's not as much weapons on this team outside of the Calvin Ridleys of the world.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Week 2, Cordero both rushed and received a touchdown against a tough Buccaneers defense. So he's got the capabilities. He's averaging 10.5 touches per game right now. Granted, small sample size, but with the lack of efficiency by Mike Davis and Wayne Gallman is still non-existent right now. He's not even a thing. You don't even hear of him yet. So Coach Arthur Smith, he's going to be smart to use Patterson in a multitude of ways, which could lead to flex value most weeks. Yep. It's just, are we ready to do it? Once again, Cordero Patterson is a guy that's been out there for years, and it's always, Yeah. It's just, if you have a spot available, pick him up. You could always put him on your bench and then see what happens in the next couple weeks.
Yep. All right, for me, I've got a little bit more obvious one here, actually. I've got Tony Pollard, 53% rostered right now. Had himself a nice little day on Sunday. 13 carries, so not a ton of opportunity, right? But he had 109 yards, 3 catches for 31 yards, added a touchdown as well. Finished as of Sunday as RB2, actually, believe it or not, with all that. And so I think that was in like half PPR. He finishes RB2 there. But That's pretty solid based on the opportunity that he was given. Now, here's the problem, right? Okay, so the carry total is nice, and it should be concerning for those who paid up in the draft to get Zeke, right? Because that's a lot of opportunity lost to Pollard. However, if Pollard is available, I think you go grab him because Mike McCarthy is, in my opinion, likely to continue splitting the carries going forward. I really do not see Zeke manhandling or getting a stranglehold on the backfield really anytime soon. Now, he might have a game here or there where it's just hot hand. Zeke keeps getting it in the right opportunities and he blows up for a couple touchdowns, breaks off a big, run, that sort of thing. But I would actually look to see the carry totals remain roughly consistent as to where they are. And I would love to have Pollard sitting on my bench with that kind of carries amount if Zeke were, to go down or something like that. That's just absolutely a blow up play right there. I think Pollard is extremely underrated and he's probably getting abused in the same way that Mike McCarthy abused having Aaron Jones available and never using him, right?
Free Tony Pollard.
Yeah, free Tony Pollard. Look, he's been explosive this season and last, and I think you do pretty well to have him. I think it's something you got to pay attention to. He's only 53% rostered right now, so I would run out there and put a little bit of a bid on him if you've got Fab, or put in a claim. I wouldn't be afraid to spend my priority, top priority on claim to get him. Just because I think that early in the year, what you're looking at is you got to kind of make a guess a little bit anyway. And this guy, given Mike McCarthy's history, he's likely to continue to get a decent amount of volume. And he can do stuff with a short amount. So, yep.
I like it, man. He looks way more explosive than Zeke does. That's for sure.
It's like we've said all along, though. Zeke is really, at this point, an elite grinder. He's just going to grind out yardage for you. So, all right, what do you got on wide receiver?
Repeat alert, everybody. I got Tim
We
Patrick.
got a repeater. We got a repeater.
He's still only 17% rostered right now. It's baffling to me. But, there is one thing. It looks like Courtland Sutton is back. Even though you've never been a fan of him. But,
no.
How consistent will Courtland Sutton be coming back from
the
ACL injury?
Not at all.
So, and that's even before the ACL injury is for him. But, KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick were very popular waiver wire pickups. We both mentioned both names last week. And, Patrick was mine from last week, and he's still not rostered in enough leagues right now, everybody. So if he's still available out there, pick him up.
Yeah.
He's now caught a touchdown in each game this season. We would like to see his targets go up per game because he's only averaging, I think, 4 or 5. But
I think he had 4 this week. Hamler had 3.
And that's the thing. There you go. I mean, his touchdown production cannot be ignored. They're looking his way because he is a big receiver. Mm-hmm. So I think Patrick could provide you some flex value for as long as Jerry Jeudy is out. Mm-hmm. And once again, they went Courtland Sutton's way a lot week 2.
That's bound to even out.
How much are they going to be able to put on his plate? I just don't know if he's capable just yet. Yeah.
I've got Rondale Moore, actually. He is 34% rostered. He had a monster week 2. He finished as wide receiver 6 on the day, had 7 catches on 8 targets for 114 yards and a TD. So basically, he and Christian Kirk are the explosive elements of this offense, right? Completely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Next week will be somebody else's turn. But look, he probably won't be as consistent going forward as you would really hope. But it is nice to see this level of targeting this early in the year on this guy who's a rookie, right? So that's pretty promising because we haven't seen that in the past out of this offense, that they're willing to just lay a ton of targets on not DeAndre Hopkins at any point, right? Because last year, that's what it was. It was 10 plus, 11 plus targets, DeAndre Hopkins, and not enough to anybody else in particular. Maybe, who was it, Dan Arnold or a couple other guys like that last year that were getting a lot of targets, but it was...
Dan Arnold.
Oh, yeah, Dan Arnold. So it was 3, 4, 5 targets a game at most. It's nice to see a rookie second game of the season go out there and pay off on those targets, right? 7 for 8 on the targets and 114 yards and a TD. That's a pretty good day for a rookie. I don't imagine that we're looking at Justin Jefferson 2, but I would say that you've got a high volume offense, and so it could keep his target count pretty high. You add in that Kirk has never really been able to lock down that wide receiver 2 role in this offense, and so Moore has a window right now to solidify that for himself. it's going to be tough. It's going to be touch and go. It's a rookie in a very complicated, well, I wouldn't say it's a complicated offense, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in it, right? Because it is kind of just air raid modified. So it is a very basic or simple offense to learn, but the nuance to it can be very complicated. And it appears that he's already kind of getting up on the nuance. So that's why I got a wide receiver.
Sure. I got one little nugget I'm going to add just because I watched him a lot in college because I'm a Big Ten grad and he went to Purdue. The one thing is he was always injured at Purdue. He always flashed, but he was always injured. So just keep that in mind. So
get him now. When he has another blow up game, you sell high.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. All right. What do you got at tight end?
There you go.
There you go. Yep. What do you got at tight end?
Pat Freiermuth, everybody. Who? Yes, Pat Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Penn State grad, 6% roster right now. This is, I mean, we're grasping at things right now. I was having a hard time trying to figure out who would be a decent tight end waiver wire claim, and I was like, rookie tight ends, they're super hard to trust. But you know, Freiermuth of the Steelers was highly regarded as a second-round pick out of Penn State. And the only tight end that's in front of Freiermuth right now is Mr. Stonehands himself, Eric Ebron.
Another Penn State grad, right? Was he? Or, no, I'm thinking of Richard Rodgers. He was a Penn State grad.
Eric Ebron, I think, went North Carolina or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was.
But it's already week 2, and he's already out snapping Eric Ebron. So that should.
The only thing that really truly matters is the 2 passes in the end zone that Eric Ebron will get every game.
For some
from 3 yards out.
Some stupid reason. But I do think Pat's role should increase as the season goes on, because that's what usually happens with the rookies, as long as they don't hit that rookie wall. But he saw 4 targets in week 2, and that could be on the rise. Keep an eye on what happens with Deontay Johnson with that knee injury. I don't know if anything new is out there yet, but that would be one less.
The word I heard was that he had an MRI and he was clean. Everything was clean.
Okay.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Should be okay.
At least clean, but maybe miss a game or
they were
limited.
Yeah, they were a bit worried that it was an ACL or MCL issue, and the MRI came back clean. So I would feel fine with it.
And this is something, everybody, I think we did this in our first waiver wires. We may not have 2 tight ends in every one of these waiver wire claim episodes because it's just not, waivers for tight ends is just not something. We might provide some more value in a more highly valuable position like the running back.
Yeah. All right, so I do have a tight end this episode, though, and that is Jack Doyle. He's 1% rostered right now.
Doyle rules.
Doyle. Don't look now, but old Doyley is seeing some targets, right? Is it going to continue? I have no idea. I really have no idea. I don't think that Indianapolis knows either. I didn't want to recommend any tight ends this week, actually, because the pickings are pretty slim. I'm so done with this position, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad right now. But Doyle is getting targeted again. And so it's, just in time to get your hopes up, go grab Jack Doyle, and then he's not going to get a thing. He remains really heavily touchdown dependent option, like the whole position in the NFL.
30 yards
all season long.
You get a elite tight end.
Yes, you do. Oh, well, here's how bad it is actually in week 2, right? Prior to the Monday night game, which Tunyon and Hawkinson, I think both ended up jumping Jack Doyle. Prior to that, Doyle had 64 yards. Okay. That's all he had. That was his metric. He had 64 receiving yards. Good for tight end 6. Good for tight end 6 on the day. Right?
That's so bad.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it is so bad. It is so bad. So that's how touchdown dependent the tight end position really is this year. Is that, I don't know if Hawkinson got a touchdown. I know Tunyon did, and both of those guys clearly immediately jump Doyle right then and there.
Finishes a tight end 6.
Yeah, but that basically means that what is it, like 7 tight ends got touchdowns pretty much on the day because he had 64 yards. That was good for tight end 6 until. So like 7 guys, I think, for the week, 7 tight ends had touchdowns. That was it. And I mean, Kelsey did. That who else was out there that did really? Waller. Yeah. And then we had, I think I lost you there. We'll add you back in here in a little bit. All right. So we're going to talk about QB. We've got, let me see here. We've got at QB.
I'm back.
All right, you're back. Here we go. All right, at QB, I just started launching in. What do you got on QB?
All right, we got Justin Fields as my QB, 51% rostered right now. Initial words out of the Bears camp is that, yes, Andy Dalton is still the starter.
Yeah.
Not like, it wasn't like, okay, what's the injury? No, Matt Nagy's like, oh yeah, Andy Dalton's the starter. No, hey coach, we're asking to see how his injury was. It does look like he did avoid tearing an ACL, but he could still miss some time. Fields came in for Dalton during the week 2, and he looked a little shaky. He was under 50% on his completion percentage, but the upside is just absolutely crazy for Justin Fields. It's incredible for what he can do on the ground, but also what he can do in the air. He has great escapability, scrambling ability, which provide a good rushing floor, which provides a good fantasy floor for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also would increase what you could potentially get out of the other Bears skills players. So, you get the, Allen Robinson, you're going to get Darnell Mooney, even David Montgomery, maybe our guy Cole Kmet. If Justin Fields takes over this, it makes it to where, okay, Andy Dalton misses a couple weeks. Well, if Justin Fields just sets the world on fire, they can't go back to him.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't. Let's hope for that, everybody.
Yep. All right.
You still can.
Yeah. All right, you're chopping again on me here a little bit. I've got Derek Carr at 27% rostered right now. I'm kind of surprised that he's still sitting there, but not surprised at the same time, right? It is the Raiders after all. Can we really trust him to pull it together or pull together a solid season with Chucky at the helm? I don't know about that. But do we really have much of a choice at this point? I don't think we do. Derek Carr is showing up. He's really showing up. If you missed on QB during the draft, put in a claim / bid on Carr, right? So he's thrown for over 800 yards in the first 2 games of the season so far. He seems like his floor, it's going to continue to be solid enough to just insert him into your lineup all season long. And so I don't think you can deny that possibility there, right? That he could be a pretty solid catch this year for you off the waiver wire. And if you are struggling at QB right now, then that's the guy you want to go with. So yeah, I think that's where you got to go. So I think we got you back here. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I think that Carr is the guy to have off the waiver wire. This might be the only real true move that anybody has this season at QB. So if you are struggling right now, I think that's a move you got to make. And that's where I'm at with it.
It's not bad. I like the Derek Carr, and you could really see what the Raiders team thinks about Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Whenever he got hurt, and the whole team was out there trying to check on him. So,
yeah. Now, I would say that week 1, he was really fixated on Waller, but week 2, he really showed up, and I was kind of surprised at how well they played as a team in total there. I think they were the Thursday night game, right? So were they the Thursday night? Yeah, they were the Thursday night game. And so it's short week, so there could be something, where it was just they just had the advantage because of the short week and they were at home and everything. But he's been top 10. I want to say he was 9th and 6th so far. So you can't ignore that. I think that's worth grabbing. He's not going to blow you away any particular week, I don't believe. But it is a worthwhile guy that, like I said, if you missed on QB somehow, this is that solid floor, right? Or let's say you got you were rolling the dice on a few of the guys who are getting injured here or there. Carr's one of those guys that really could just pick you up. He could just be that solid floor guy that's going to get you from one week to the next because he doesn't have a bad game.
Right.
He might throw one here or there, but I don't know if he's going to throw 3 interceptions in a row like Burrow or 4. Who threw 4 interceptions? Zach Wilson, yeah. Burrow threw 5 passes. And those 5 passes were INT, 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 TD, TD.
5 consecutive.
5 consecutive passes. That was the result. Yeah. So, it's both an indictment of him as well as the defense that he was facing. That and the offense that was on the other team as well, because they gave him short fields to get those TDs. So, all right. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's rough. Yeah, it was the Bears offense with Justin Fields. So, and Fields threw a really bad pass that he shouldn't have thrown. He did not see a dropping linebacker who was dropping into coverage right under the route that he was throwing, and just stepped right into it and ran it back to the 10 or something like that. So made it pretty easy, but yeah. So So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for our waiver wire picks. Hopefully that's been pretty helpful to you. We did get a little bit long-winded, I think, longer than we'd like to be, but it is what it is. And Justin's on the road, so we got a couple technical difficulties. Wouldn't be fun without it. Yeah. So, hey, that's going to do it. Hopefully it's helpful. Let us know if you've got any waiver wire suggestions down below, or if you disagree and you think that, hey, don't touch that guy. Generally, just don't touch that guy. Good rule of thumb. Good rule of thumb. Yeah, just good rule of thumb. Don't touch people, without permission at least. All right, so we're gonna hop off here because now we're getting loopy. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Have fun. Bye.
Yeah.